All right. How's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So what I think I'm going to call this podcast is most men's clothes don't fit. So I'm going to start doing a lot of different things on YouTube regarding fashion, wardrobe, things in that nature. I was doing previously, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was visiting all my favorite consignment resale shops in North America. And, I really didn't get too specific as far as, I guess you could say, talking a lot about, garment and fashion and things in that nature. I was doing it on my podcast, but I wasn't doing it on YouTube. It was more, my first year on YouTube was more about traveling and showing you basically all my favorite gyms, doing gym tours, my favorite Italian restaurants, coffee houses, bars, things in that nature, and giving fitness advice, I guess you could say for the most part. But I have a program out called Mastering Self-Confidence, and that is really to help men find the woman or women of their dreams, but a substantial amount of that program is about helping men to a certain degree, what I call working from the outside in, and kind of, if they want to change their identity, kind of revamp, maybe start doing things differently to a certain degree. It could go for the way their hair is, the way the clothes they wear. And again, I'm not here to change anybody. These are people that are looking to change, that may be afraid to change, or maybe just experience something different for a certain amount of time. Because when it comes to fashion, a lot of times I think people restrict themselves or kind of get caught in a rut. I'm quite the opposite. You never know what you're going to find with me. One day I can look like I'm headed to the beach. The next day I could look like I'm headed to Four Seasons. And then the next day I could look preppy. And then the next day I look like I'm out of, Little Italy, Mulberry Street, hypothetically. Or you just don't know with me. I love changing and wearing all different types of clothes. Maybe that's just something. I think it was based really on my upbringing, because I kind of was caught between the city and the suburbs. And in the city of Chicago, it was kind of more hardcore look, leathers, blacks, black and white, I guess you could say, and grays, and more that street look. And then I also grew up in a very preppy upper middle class neighborhood, or I should say I went to school in an area like that. So a lot of kids wore, back in the 80s, Lacoste, Ralph Lauren, things in that nature. But what I'm going to start doing with these YouTube videos is just picking very specific things. It's going to be one day it'll be on shirts, it could be long sleeve, the next day it could be on pants. It's not just going to be on, talking overall about fashion and things in that nature, because personally, I'm not really, I used to be obsessed with fashion, even when I was younger and I went into modeling, and I loved brands, and my family's from the garment industry. But as time went on, I kind of found myself slipping farther and farther away from high fashion. I don't really relate to it at all right now at this point in time. I watch some of the shows here and there. I don't care if it's Gucci, Versace, Armani, whoever the hell's got, whoever's launching a new show. And I used to actually look at a lot of magazines too, men and women's, and it's not my thing right now. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm getting further and further away. I'm also kind of more getting into fitness wear more than actually anything else. So, which is quite interesting. But if I go back to traveling, or I start doing things, of course, you'll probably see me in, a three-piece suit or something like that. But back to the original thing I was going to talk about in this case was most men's clothes do not fit. And that is something I want to touch upon, because my God, I see so many pictures on Facebook. I see so many people outside, and this goes for dress up or not dress up. This goes for people that are casual. I live in Florida, and I still see, I don't care if they're wearing shorts, they're either too short, they're too long, in my opinion. You can dress any way you want, but sometimes you just know what kind of looks good. Also, shirts, too long, too short, too tight, collars cocked, worn out, back to pants being really too long, the seam in the center is hanging too low, their pants in general don't fit their waist, again, too tight, too loose. I tell people a lot of times, you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can spend actually a ton of money on clothes, right? High brands, but if they don't fit you right, they're going to look cheap and shitty. You can have lower end clothes that fit you right that are going to look definitely higher end or better. But I don't know, especially with men, I think I do know, I should say, is because I think a lot of us, I can't always speak for me, but I find myself in these moods too where you don't want to shop. You just, I used to love shopping. I used to love trying different clothes on and seeing what they look like. It was just, I was kind of groomed that way. Both of my parents are like that. My family's like that. So we take a lot of time when we would go shopping. And I also do a lot of things in the dressing room that maybe other people wouldn't do. I look at it all different angles. I sit, for instance, if I'm getting a pair of pants, I'll just keep in that flow. I'm looking at them all different angles. I'm sitting. I kind of walk with them. I stretch a little bit. I want to see how they feel. I don't just put them on, look at them, and go, yeah, these are good. Let's go, right? Because I'm going to probably be wearing those pants for a substantial amount of time. Same with anything. And, I don't know why people are rushing something that it's really something that is so a part of who they are, and so many people are going to be looking at you. Now, I get a lot of times people are like, I don't give a shit how I look. Well, it's not only about the way you look. How does the comfortable, when you're wearing clothes that are comfortable, and I don't think a lot of people even realize this, when you truly wear something that fits you right, not only does it look good, it feels right. You may have, and I think this goes for a lot of people, you may have favorite shoes, maybe a favorite pair of pants, maybe a favorite shirt. Like, I love the way I feel in this, right? And a lot of times is because it fits you right. Now, I'm not saying a lot of clothes, too, don't like, a lot of times we're comfortable in real baggy type of clothes. Yeah, you're comfortable, but again, if you want to walk around, super casual all the time, that's fine. There's nothing wrong. You can do whatever you want to do. But I do think most of us do find ourselves having to dress appropriately for different type of occasions. I don't care if it's, and it doesn't have to be a wedding. It doesn't have to be an award show. It doesn't have to be high end. But, you go to certain places for dinner. You may be going to, I don't know where you're going to for drinks. You may be going on a date. You may be going to an anniversary. You may be going to a shower, a birthday party, whatever the case may be. It may be at a nicer restaurant. You may be going to a steakhouse. You got to have the right clothes. And again, you want to make sure they fit, they're ironed. And again, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to do this. I always talk about going to resale shops, secondhand stores, and or maybe even asking others. Sometimes, with my friends, a lot of my clothes I give away. And if you have friends that have clothes that you like, you may want to borrow them. Who gives a shit? If you got close friends, family members, colleagues, if you want to experiment sometimes, you don't want to spend money, for sure come in, say, hey, you know what, I'm thinking about getting a sport coat. I know we're kind of the same size. You mind if I, wear yours out or try it out? I had tons of people. You may find this crazy. Maybe you won't. Because I had a lot of sport coats and different things, I had literally doctors that I knew, and I had friends that were corporate dudes, tech guys, all these different types of guys that either would be transferring jobs or going to a certain, event, whatever the case may be, coming to my closet to wear my stuff. They had some clothes. Maybe they didn't like them, or maybe they outgrew them, because I think that's what happens to a lot of people when you buy clothes a lot of times. They don't fit you because you may have gained weight or lost weight. And that's another reason why I call it disposable clothing. But I would have people come and still to this day, they come in my closet and we try all different things on. We piece things together, right? And I'm not saying you have to get to that level, but what I am trying to say is, overall, when it comes to clothes fitting you correctly, is take an honest approach. And the one thing I realized with clothes, and I'm going to do a YouTube video on this, it's very important to me, is usually most people are not always comfortable with the way they look. Very few people I will look at and they'll be like, hey, I am 100% satisfied with the way I weigh, right? I'm 100% satisfied in the way I look, right? So, whatever. Most people are not going to say that. I don't know why, but most people I know, especially men, they're always either they've gotten too heavy, right? Or they're smaller and they want to get bigger, all right? Kind of more muscular, more jacked. Even the heavy guys want to lose weight, whatever the case may be. So when you're buying clothing, a lot of times, if you do want to evolve into something else, you're most likely going to outgrow or or whatever regarding those clothes, you're going to end up getting a different, size, most likely in the future. So I tell people a lot of times, until you get to exactly where you want to be, which may never be, but make sure you're kind of not overspending, if that makes sense. If you're an XL or a 2XL right now and you want to be an L, if you're going to go start building your wardrobe up, let's back off. Let's start figuring out how we're going to get lose that weight. But if you still need to wear something, again, you can borrow it, or let's go secondhand store, or let's just go to a cheaper end store and buy some things right now to hold you over. Too many people, a lot of times, especially when they start new jobs, I think, or if they're going to a wedding or they start whatever, they spend too much money on clothing that doesn't necessarily, right, that they're going to wear for a substantial amount of time. Sometimes they do. But usually, like I said, most men either slowly progress into getting heavier, for the most part, or again, they'll go on a diet and lose a lot of weight. So these are all things I talk about and I'm going to be showing you on YouTube. Or I'm not going to be showing you. I'm just going to discuss it. I don't have the energy or the bullshit to start pulling out all different types of clothes right now in my life. I'm just going to be talking about it like I am now. But please, if you are somebody, start paying attention to your clothes. Also, your shoes. Are they too big? Are they too small? People notice this shit. I'm just telling you, same with a lot of things that I'm going to get into. I'm going to go back to, because I've been really pushing the fitness aspect of things, and I've gotten exhausted from it myself. So I definitely am ready. I just did a video actually on grooming, what I've done throughout my life to keep my head, very tight with my beard, all the tricks of the trade throughout my life. I may actually do a podcast after this regarding that. But about your grooming things, I just did a podcast, and I'm kind of excited about it. It came out a lot better than I thought. So look out for that as well, and I'm going to wrap it up for now. If you get a chance, definitely check out my YouTube channel, Rich CELENZA. I'm also on LinkedIn. Where else am I? Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, and I'm trying to build a pretty strong following on that YouTube. So if you do go on there, try and subscribe. All right, take care.